My name's Adella Charlton. I've lived in Ely for nearly 35 years now, and I am a retired teacher. And I've been asked to explain to you what Jesus means to me. Well, it may not be the same as a lot of people who would answer that question. Lots of people I've known have known Jesus all their lives, and they have a very real relationship with him. They talk in terms of Jesus being in their lives on a daily basis, minute by minute almost. It's not quite like that for me. However, I really want that to be the case, but however much I long for such a relationship, I don't feel as if I'm there yet. I don't feel as if Jesus is the same friend to me as he seems to be to many of my friends, and yet I really want him in my daily life. I'm 100% certain that he exists, and I see him in the hearts and minds of lots of my friends and people I see at church, and yet I still feel sort of slightly removed from such a personal relationship. I began seeking that relationship with Jesus when I was in my 20s. I remember going on a camping trip with some very dear friends of mine, and really I was just tagging along. And they'd been planning this trip for ages. It was a bit of a sort of pilgrimage to them, I suppose. They were both Christians, and they'd always wanted to visit the community of Iona. I'd no idea, but I certainly wasn't closed to the prospect of visiting a religious community. We were wild camping in those days, right by the shore, and it was the most idyllic situation. Here I was with my two closest friends, and yet I felt a little lonely somehow, a little isolated. And one day when they'd gone off to a service I decided to give a miss to, I was sort of enjoying the beautiful view when I became aware of a bit of a noise in the background, and there was a sheep making quite a racket. It turned out that there was a ewe which who had her lamb on the other side of a very rickety wire fence. The lamb had somehow just walked through it, I suppose, but it couldn't find its way back. And it was running up and down this fence trying to get back to its mother and the rest of the flock. And the mother was obviously very agitated and wanted it back again. And there didn't seem anything stopping it in a way, because it could quite easily have walked through the fence, but it was a real barrier to this little lamb. And so it went on for a while, and I thought, you're not supposed to really interfere with wildlife and so on, but I ought to help this lamb. So eventually I managed to catch it, and I just popped it back through the fence, and off they all went, very happily together, as if nothing had ever happened. And really, in a way, I thought, that's really like me. I've got a very clear view of all that's going on. I've got Jesus on one side of the fence and I'm on the other, and really the holes in this fence are so big that I could just walk through them, but in my mind it was a huge mental barrier. And I think really, in many ways, that is how I am. I just need to stop bleating, really, and just walk on through that fence. But I think I might need help from some of my friends to do that, and they have been trying, I can tell you, for many years. But I live in hope anyway, and I think what Jesus means to me is hope, grace. I think he has the grace to let me in, and I think he has the mercy to understand me and to accept me just as I am, which brings me on to my favourite song, hymn, which is called Just As I Am.
Just as I am, without one plea, but that here.